Hello everybody, this is Mommy with Flowers by the Bunch. This afternoon we are going to make a bubble bowl arrangement for an order to go out. This one is called an I Love You, and it is on our website, and it's actually kind of it's similar to that. I don't have all those flowers available, so we're going to make it pretty similar. Now here at Flowers by the Bunch, one of our most popular arrangements is a compact arrangement made in a bubble bowl. This is a glass vase, but we call these, when you order them, they're called an ivy bowl. And if you'll pay attention, it has a ruffle on the edge. This is what keeps your flowers in place in a compact bubble bowl like this. If you don't have the ruffle, you're going to have a hard time keeping your flowers in place unless you place a grid on the top of the vase. We have found with this ruffle, you don't have to have a grid, so that's wonderful. We're going to start out with some silver dollar eucalyptus. So I am just going to take some snips, and I'm going to cut my eucalyptus in smaller pieces. Now the reason I just cut it with those snips, it's a little easier sometimes to cut with the snips when you're trying not to pull all of the heads off of the greenery, or all of the leaves off the greenery. So I'm just taking my greenery, I'm cutting it into smaller pieces, and I'm just tucking it into the water just like this. And you're going to try to keep the leaves from hitting the water, because the leaves help it helps to promote the growth of bacteria. So try to keep the leaves out of the water if you can. One of them fell down in that water. Okay, next I'm going to come in with some of my flowers. So the flowers I chose for this arrangement include some beautiful yellow sunflowers, some purple stock. So we'll start with our purple stock. I'm going to take my stem and I'm going to strip off the foliage down on the stem. I'm going to throw that greenery in the trash. I'm going to take my floral knife and I'm going to cut that stem at an angle. I'm going to take a second stem, strip it down, cut that stem at an angle, and tuck that right in. Next we're going to come in with a couple of orange Babe spray roses. So we keep these in our cooler. I just like the vibrant color of the orange. So we usually have these spray roses in our cooler most of the time. So I'm just took that stem and cut it in an angle. Pull off any of that foliage that might fall below that water line. But if you think it won't, leave it on there, because it's just, the foliage is free when it's on the stem, right? And so don't pull it off if you don't have to. So I just cut that stem at an angle and I tucked it right into my vase. Now right now your flowers are a little topsy-turvy, but don't worry, we're going to continue to add flowers so it fills it up. Next I'm going to come in with a little bit of solidago. I'm going to strip off a little bit of the blooms and the foliage, and I popped that off, cut it with my knife, and then I'm going to tuck that solidago right down into my vase. I'm going to take my second stem, strip that down, break that stem off, tuck it in, just like that. I'm going to take my sunflower. Okay, so these sunflowers, I have a smaller bloom and a larger bloom. The smaller bloom is going to be taller in the arrangement, and the larger bloom will be a little shorter than the smaller. So I'm going to start with my larger bloom. I'm going to cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to nestle him right down into this vase. I'm going to actually, one of these, the stalk is its stem is just a little long, so it wants to kind of hang out of the vase. So I'm going to trim that up. When you're cutting your flowers, always cut off less than you think you might need to, because if you get it too short, you can't add stem to it. But if it's a little too long, you can always trim that up. Next, I'm going to come in with my second stem of sunflowers. And I'm going to cut that stem at an angle and nestle him right down into that vase, just like that. The next flower we have are some orangey red Alstroemeria lilies. Very long lasting bloom of flowers. Love them for that quality, and they come in tons of color. I thought that this reddish color would be real pretty with my orangey spray roses. Take that stem, cut it in an angle, and I am just nestling him right down amongst the other flowers. I'm going to take my second stem, do the exact same thing. Go ahead and strip that foliage off. Take your knife, cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to tuck him back here in the back. I always like to have flowers all the way around in this little vase because this is a perfect vase to go on a coffee table or a side table, even on your desk. And so it's always nice to have flowers all the way around, especially if it's on your desk. The next or the last flower that we're going to use are going to be these little mums. This is called an Oregon disbud. It's just kind of a beautiful plum purple color. I'm going to take it and I'm going to nestle him a little higher up in this arrangement, almost a little bit above the smallest sunflower. So I'm going to take my knife, cut that stem at an angle, and tuck him right down into that water. And you see how he's just kind of peeking up there at the top. There's an empty spot right here, so I'm going to take my second stem and nestle him in right there. So this is a fun, pretty long lasting little flower arrangement. And I love that it's real compact and full. The last thing I'm going to do for this arrangement is add a little bit of honey bracelet. Honey bracelet is a pretty foliage that almost reminds you of an evergreen, but it has lots of little, so this is one stem, but look at all these little pieces that I can cut off to add into this arrangement. So I like to take my fingernail and just kind of pop that loose, and I'm just going to nestle some of this little honey bracelet right into this arrangement. This just gives us an added texture, and it smells pretty too. So when you strip off that foliage, you can smell that. It almost smells a little like an evergreen. But I'm just going to take this one stem and I'm going to pop it apart and use it all the way through this arrangement. So you see, it's a very simple arrangement. It's got, I think, the varieties of flowers. We have like 4 or 5 varieties of flowers. So it's not tons of flowers, but look how compact and how full it looks when you cut them shorter and make them in more of a compact arrangement. Again, this is one of our most popular styles of arrangements that we sell. It's not terribly expensive and you feel like you got a lot for your money. So the flowers we use today include the purple stock, which is that kind of line flower, yellow sunflowers, orange spray roses, the reddish orange Alstroemeria lily, solidago, and these beautiful purple Oregon disbuds. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. If you have any questions about how we do things here at the flower shop, you know you can always ask. We'd love for you to ask questions. You can drop that right here in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, we would love for you to do that. Hit that subscribe button down below. And if you'll hit that little bell, it'll give you notifications for when we have a new video. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon.